You will never guess what they sell at Tractor Supply Company. Yeah, slingshots. Specifically these wrist rockets. Who doesn't love a good wrist rocket? If you're watching this channel, chances are you had one of these when you were a kid. They're so much fun to shoot, but these ones you get from the store, not much power to them. They are very good for shooting these little ball bearings, but if you try using one of these things as a sling bow to shoot an arrow, it's just really not enough power. About 1.5 inches. And that was gonna be the topic of today's video. I was gonna show you guys how to convert one of these things into a really serious hunting implement. But tragically, as soon as I put some slightly stronger bands on one of these $15 tractor store slingshots, I immediately learned that it is a $15 tractor store slingshot. The brace busted right through. Yeah, I could go through the trouble of like trying to find the exact amount of rubber that you can put on there that it's not gonna break it, but the fact would remain, they're not really engineered for that. And it would just be much more likely to break eventually. I don't really wanna deal with that. I would much rather just commit to a full build and just go ahead and put the work into making a full wrist rocket sling bow for adults. It's gonna have an adjustable wrist brace, custom molded grip, and what I'm most excited about, I really truly believe that I have cracked the code on making tapered spear gun rubber. I've been kind of obsessed with the idea for a while. If it doesn't work, I won't say I'm gonna lose it, but all this and more on today's ZNA production. Here you go. Hope you guys like it. Alrighty, step number 1 for the slingshot, you gotta make some food. You can't make a slingshot when you're hungry. Don't even try, it's not possible. Me personally, I think I'm gonna go with some sweet and spicy cashew pork tacos. Sounds pretty good. I think it's gonna make this slingshot shoot really fast. The video is sponsored by HelloFresh, the world's leading meal kit service. I'm honestly surprised you never heard of them, but don't worry, I'll explain. You sign up for the subscription, fresh ingredients show up at your doorstep as often as you choose, and then anytime you want a delicious home-cooked meal, you just follow these baby mode recipes, and boom, you're eating like a king. So if you wanna even have a chance at making this slingshot or these tacos, just really quick, I need you to check out the link in the description. You're gonna get 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life. That's a free breakfast item in every single box if you're in the United States. If you're outside of the United States, you get a discount. If you've been waiting for a sign, it is time to kickstart your winter arc with some honestly very healthy meals. They even got options if you really want to focus on like protein or focus on low calorie. They got like 50 plus dinner options. If you can't find something there that you like, it's not HelloFresh that has a problem, I'll tell you that. Just kidding, kind of. Personally, I can eat the same meal like maybe 3 times in a row before I start like kind of losing it. HelloFresh will absolutely keep your mealtime boredom at bay. Get out. So please, for the love of gosh, it's the only thing I'm asking for this Christmas. Use my link in the description. Use my code ZNADEC10. Where do they get these catchy codes from? That sounds so good. ZNADEC10. That's just awesome. 10 free meals, free breakfast for life. Thank you guys. Let's get back to the build. Alrighty, first order of business, the grip and the barrel? Not really a barrel because nothing comes out of it, but you probably know what I'm talking about, the part that's gonna come out from here. Go ahead and grab yourself some pipe with a diameter that feels pretty good for a grip. For me, this 3/4 inch is pretty good. So we're gonna make 3 cuts. One just to trim the threads off the end of the barrel, then another cut here where we establish the angle for our grip, and then a cut on the bottom so that the underside here can be flat so we can attach our support for the brace here. It is gonna be a little different than the Tractor Supply wrist rockets. You're not gonna reach through it like that. There's gonna be a flat part right here and a loop right here that you reach through and grab onto it. I think that makes sense. So I've been messing around with my T-bevel for a little while, making a little pistol out of it, and after a lot of trial and error, I found that 68 degrees from the barrel, which is 22 degrees from vertical, is really perfect for me, where I'll pick a little spot over there and I'll just intuitively aim. And when I keep my arm as still as possible and I move my eyeball so that I'm looking right over the top of it, it's pretty much dead on every time. And as it turns out, standard orthodoxy for pistol grips is actually between 18 and 22 degrees, so pretty good, gotta say. So to get that 22 or 68 degree angle with matching lips on the pipe, because you don't want, you know, this kind of thing. Blech. What we're actually gonna do is split that 68 in half, so 34, set your miter saw to 34 degrees, choppy choppy, and then when you flip one of your pieces around and connect them, your two half angles are gonna add together and create your full angle. So yeah, that didn't take me all day to figure out. Now here's the barrel. Go ahead and chuck the grip portion of the pipe back in there and use some kind of good square piece of something or other to really square up the end of the pipe to make sure that these two cuts are nice and square with each other. Now this one will actually cut at 22. Alrighty, I got enough stuff here that I can start tacking things together and see if I'm going in the right direction in terms of, ergonomics and stuff. I'm happy to announce I am going in the right direction in terms of, ergonomics and stuff. If I have the brace touching my forearm, you can see I can't really point the barrel down. If I put the brace on the side of my forearm, that's a lot more like what I'm going for. So all I really gotta do is bend the bottom out so it'll fit the profile of my forearm a little bit better. And that's gonna be super easy with my little homemade flat bar bender. Check this out. I think probably the only thing I'm really at risk of is breaking my tack welds. Actually, it looks pretty cool. I like that. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Now the fork, I'm thinking, is gonna be pretty simple. I should say hoping. I'm gonna heat this 1/4-inch steel rod. You absolutely 100% could bend this without heat, but I just want this this bend to be really nice and clean. I'm gonna move over to the table. And here I've got a 3/8 steel rod. You're not gonna be able to see the glow very well on camera because this big bright light right here, but it's glowing. Alright, not perfect, but pretty dang good. That's looking real nice in there. Just gonna use another one of these pipe benders, but this one is 1.5 inches. And I'm gonna use that leftover 3/4-inch pipe for some leverage. So now, after welding the fork into the barrel, this little piece of flat bar to mount the whisker biscuit to, and the string stops, which is just a little piece of angle iron with a couple of bolts welded to it, it's finally time to move on to the custom grip. Hey look, it gets better than that, don't worry. This is a little experiment that I've been thinking about for a while. This could be the dumbest looking thing I do for a long time, or it could be really cool, guess we'll see. But I'm gonna try making a custom fitted grip using this JB Weld steel stick. It's that 2-part epoxy putty that hardens up when you mix it together. You can see I've scuffed up the grip here, so it's got something to hold on to. So I'm gonna mix it up with gloves, but then once it's on there, I'm gonna put some Vaseline on my hand, give it a squeeze, and see what happens. Got like 1.5 tubes here. And I did clean this off with denatured alcohol. Ugh, man, I have to re-remember every time I use this stuff how much it freaking stinks. It smells like a septic tank. Looks pretty good. There's like chunks in it. I think this stuff is old. Bruh, hope it works. All right. This looks promising. Should have had some like sculpting tools out here so I could like edge it up and stuff. What if my slingshot had a low taper fade? All right, here we go. Okay. I mean, from right there, that doesn't look that bad. That looks pretty cool, actually. It looks like it's made of bone or something. That's pretty cool, actually. All right, success. Now for the bands, here's where the novelty comes in. We're going mental, experimental. For the longest, I've been obsessing over the idea of trying to replicate the tapered band speed increase that you get with flat bands, only with spear gun rubber. And I'm hoping and praying I got a viable solution here. I was looking at the way that they secure the bands onto the slingshots from the factory, and I was thinking, you know what? That looks a lot like vacuum caps from the auto store. So I've taken a 1/4-inch aluminum rod and I put those caps on both ends. And I'm hoping I'll be able to slide this into some 5/8 spear gun rubber, slide the other end into some 1/2 inch, and effectively create a tapered band. Absolutely no clue if this is gonna work, and try not to think about what'll happen if it fails. So first, I'm actually gonna puncture this thing right at the end. Just like that. If you don't poke it like that, there is literally no way you're getting this thing all the way on. The pressure builds up inside it because of course it's a vacuum tube, it's airtight. And if you're thinking you need the vacuum to keep this thing on, absolutely not. The fit is so tight, just the friction will hold it on plenty. So I'm gonna use denatured alcohol as a lubricant. It really ain't nothing to it but to do it. Here we go. Hi, turns out there was a lot more to it than to do it. I'm gonna save you guys a whole bunch of time. There was a whole lot of this. A lot of this. and least of all, actually accomplishing what I was trying to. Didn't even come close. Ugh, I'm not even close. The next day, however, I figured out a super easy and effective way to do exactly what I was trying to do. So we're just gonna go ahead and skip to there. You're welcome. Holy smokes. So a day and probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours of experimentation later, I think I finally got it. Not just the most durable version of this little fitting, but a way to actually make it and put the bands together that doesn't completely destroy my hands. So first off, we're gonna cut 2 inches of 1/4 inch aluminum rod. I just cleaned up the rough ends on the belt sander too. Now I'm gonna take the vacuum cap, I'm gonna spritz some denatured alcohol on the inside to use as lube. And I'm taking these little angled pliers. You put them in and you kind of stretch them out just a little bit. Just rotate it, turn it. These things actually have a surprising amount of stretch in them. Now a little prep work for the aluminum rod. Stick it in the chuck of your drill. Now grab some rough sandpaper. This is 120 grit. I would go up to 80 grit if I were you. Just gonna wrap that around and then a spin. And notice I'm holding the sandpaper in one place. I'm not sliding it up and down because I'm not trying to smooth this out. I'm trying to rough it up. If you hold it in one place, then the grits keep cutting in the same spot. You get this nice textured feel. Get the other side too. Now you get yourself a little wooden block. I can't really give you exact measurements on the block because it's all gonna depend on the pliers that you have. But your block needs to be the correct size so that you can stretch your pliers out and put them on the block this way, and it's gonna hold your vacuum cap open. Alcohol, pliers. See how good that works? Now some CA glue. Slide it right in. Make sure it gets all the way to the back before the glue grips on, and then you just wrap around with your finger and push with your thumb. Make any little teeny adjustments you need to before it sets, because it sets quick. And there you go. Get it done on the other side too. Nice and easy. All right, here we go. We got 8 inches of the 1/2 inch rubber and 5 inches of the 5/8. When it's all said and done, we should have 6 working inches of this one and 3 working inches of this one. Really similar to the way that we did this one. We're gonna use alcohol as a lubricant, force these into here, and I'm gonna use a 4.5 inch block to hold the pliers open while I get these things in. And as you can see, I marked out halfway. Perfect. See how much easier that is? Holy smokes. All right, other side, literally the exact same. You see that? You see how pretty that is? Oh my goodness, I haven't even finished it yet. Man, that is so nice. Look at that. Woo-wee. All right, I'm gonna do the other one now. There we absolutely go. Here's how I'm gonna finish them off. I have this very, very, very much thinner rubber. I don't remember the exact size. I'll throw it up on the screen right here. I'm gonna cut 2 1.5 inch pieces, like so. Slide it just about up to where they meet together. Pull this out, then actually roll it over. Ooh, I might have overshot that. Ah, did I? Nope. Perfect. Check that out. Ooh, baby. This is gonna be so cool. There we go. Ooh, baby, check that out. That's nice. Very promising so far. Oh, yeah. Oh, let me set up the high speed. And check that out. There's the bad one that I did first, but I'm super impressed with how true these arrows are flying. There's no real angle to any of them. I'm loving this thing so far. It's definitely, I can tell, it's definitely not as fast as the pulley Slingbow. It's nice, it feels good, just for fun. I'm gonna go ahead and compare it to the big bad $30 Tractor Supply Co. slingshot. Obviously, this is a stupid comparison. It's not a Slingbow, but you can shoot an arrow out of it. Just give a little nonsensical comparison just for fun. Oh, bruh. All right, aim right. I'm gonna reshoot the Slingbow real quick just for a better comparison. Yes, that is so stinking nice. And now the Barnet. Those are fair shots for sure. All right, so 4 inches from mine. about an inch and a half from the Barnet. What do you know? The way more powerful actual Slingbow shoots arrows faster than the store-bought slingshot. Science is awesome, guys. This is a science channel now. So here's where stuff started to get kind of weird. I'm not gonna linger on this for way too long, but for all intents and purposes, you can kind of consider this to be the end of the video. But for anybody interested, here is why this, although it is technically the final form of the build, and it is far superior to what I just left you guys off with, this will not technically be considered part of the video. Let me explain. So I had to accept the fact that the draw weight of the tapered bands was actually too strong for me. In fact, just the one day using it, I gave myself about a week and a half's worth of tennis elbow. I'm prone to it. It sucks. I got bad elbows, but I wanted to lighten the band so I could at least use it. But the only thing that I had to replace the spear gun rubber with was these exercise bands. And after looking at them, I thought, you know what? That actually looks like a pretty nice, convenient way to mount this rubber to stuff. Maybe I'll just modify the fork of my slingshot to accept these little nubby ends. At which point I got to thinking, you know what? If I'm just using straight bands, I can replace my string stoppers with rollers. That way I could actually narrow the fork in the front because I only had it so wide to avoid dragging the bands against the string stoppers. But if I got rollers, that's not an issue. And then I started thinking, ooh, and that means I could actually shorten the bands. I could get them nice and snug right up against the rollers. Oh man, that's gonna add like 6 inches to the power stroke. That's so cool. I also invented a new type of whisker biscuit. That's besides the point. There's a short in the description though. But yeah, I was super happy with this because in spite of actually having a lighter draw weight, it's actually even faster than the tapered bands, which is a little embarrassing with all the work that I put into it. But I'm like, who cares? At least I invented something really cool. But that's when tragedy struck, one fateful Christmas night. Hi, so it's December 25th, 1 a.m., well, 26 I guess then. We just got back from our third Christmas party in the last 2 days to find that we accidentally locked Beanip in our bedroom. He peed and pooed all over the bed, so I've been cleaning the bed for the last couple of hours. It's finally done. My wife gets to go to bed, so I sit down in front of the TV to unwind with some YouTube, and I discover this Russian guy has invented my slingshot 5 years before I did. It's literally identical. It's uncanny. All the way down to, you guys only would have seen it in the short where I made the whisker biscuit. He used hex nuts to mount the exercise bands. If you're seeing my slingshot now, it's got washers in the front, but it had hex nuts before. This has happened probably one time ever, and not even this uncanny. It was that electric skateboard that I made that one time, and literally the day I was uploading, The Art of Weapons uploaded an electric skateboard, and it was just like so much better than the one that I made. This one, I'm really glad it's just identical. It's not like he totally blew mine out of the water or anything, but I mean, just look at that. It's the same freaking thing. Look at that. That's insane. I guess minor difference there. He's doing that toothbrush thing. I've seen Jorg do that before. I don't know if Jorg invented that, but he made a whisker biscuit out of toothbrushes. And also he has a folding arm brace on his. See that? It's pretty nice. I guess a couple really small things. I think I have more pre-tension on my bands, and I might have even some stronger bands in there. So if it seems like my slingshot is just kind of stronger, that's literally the only reason why. If you just put some thicker bands on there, it would be the exact same. So yeah, take a good look. Works really well. I did invent it. Just a Russian guy invented it 5 years before I did. What are you gonna do? To do my best to avoid any accusations of like stealing the guy's idea for views, I'm not even gonna include this thing in the thumbnail. I'm just gonna use the OG with the tapered bands. Hopefully it doesn't like affect the views, because my views are just so high these days, you know? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed all iterations of the build. Thank you very much, HelloFresh, for sponsoring the video. That's all I got for today, guys. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.